Hi, this is Gary Kayye. We're here at ISE 2023 in the HDBaseT booth.
Hello.
There you go. With Gabi Shriki. We're going to see some really cool stuff today. It's the end of the second day of the show, and everybody knows what HDBaseT is. And in fact, I don't know, you have, how many adopters do you have of HDBaseT now?
Around 200 or so.
I mean, everybody who does any kind of signal routing and distribution does HDBaseT. And you kind of enlightened me a couple of years ago with a comment that I thought was really smart, and it's stuck in my mind. We were talking about AV over IP, and I was asking you sort of what your position on and what was on it, and sort of where you saw it going. And you had a really good point. You said, you know what, here's what I think. I think that people are going to care about the quality of the picture inside of a room, and they're going to want to keep things inside of a room HDBaseT, but outside of the room, they might use whatever they want to use.
Right.
And we have to be compatible with whatever they might want to use, but the core quality is going to stay in the room. And that's basically what's happened. What you told me was going to happen is exactly what happened.
Definitely right. What we see in the market today, that the HDBaseT value within the room remains strong. And we see a lot of different AV over IP solutions out there, very much fragmented. But with the success of Zoom and Teams, we see a consolidation of the enterprise to use that platform as the way to go out of the room, out of the campus, out of the building, right? So combining the two technologies makes a lot of sense. There is no silver bullet technology that solves everything. So you combine HDBaseT for the in-room with AV over IP for out of the room, that's the best way to go.
Yeah, and you're probably right. Most of that out of the room is going to happen through one of the UC platforms in reality. So that's a good point. Speaking of UC, there's a lot going on at HDBaseT right now.
Absolutely.
That's really kind of cool. And I got a chance to see behind the scenes a new thing that you're going to kind of, your proof of concept, I guess you'd say, of something really creative, because we are getting into the world, and you've seen me probably right about this, that we can't have meeting rooms with one camera. The problem with one camera is you get these weird angles, weird views, and you also don't get a good experience with the remote viewer when there's only one camera in a room, because you get this either God's view or you get this wide angle view or whatever, and you can't see expressions, you don't bond with the people in the room. So every camera company in UC is coming out with, everybody's announcing a UC camera. They're all coming out with plans to have multiple cameras in the room. You have a unique way of solving that problem.
You're right. So I definitely see the trend of multiple cameras and multiple displays in a meeting room. And it's very obvious, because when you have a single camera typically next to the display looking into the room, the participants are not equally shared, not equally visible, not understanding what's happening for those outside of the room, remotely participants. So we have created a very unique technology that can do multiple camera distribution in a room at a fraction of the cost and at a fraction of the power dissipation required from other technologies, like if you do it only with USB or HDMI or IP.
Which would be a lot more expensive and not sustainable from a cost perspective. I love this. Normally in interviews we don't do demos, but I'm going to ask you, Gabi, to do a demo really quick, because I want you to explain what we're looking at, because basically you've done a proof of concept. You have 4 cameras here, and you're sending it in a unique way that does not, you're able to combine these 4 cameras without using HDMI, without using USB or IP or SGI or anything like that.
So the way we do that is by extending the camera serial interface. The CSI interface is that interface between the camera sensor and the image signal processor, that video processor that creates out of the raw data the image itself. And why is it better? Because one, it's uncompressed. It can carry 4K 60 uncompressed. It is fraction of the power, only 250 milliwatts for the transmitter, and it will allow multiple cameras at a cost-effective way to be distributed and shared with this UCC platform, be it Zoom or Teams or any one of them.
Yeah, can I show this?
Yeah.
This is cool. So these are the two. This is the transmitter and receiver. The transmitter. Look at the size of that transmitter that Valens has built.
And the receiver is actually quad-channel receiver, so it can get 4 independent channels. That's why it's a little bit bigger. So
yeah, so you got 4. It's a 1-to-4, and so you can basically put 4 input channels into this, and it processes it. And this is a proof of concept here, where you have 4 cameras here going into one of it. You can see the chip here on the board if you don't mind coming over here and showing this. This is this chip here on the board taking these 4 inputs, right? And you're doing it at, you say fraction of the cost, but look, it's combining these 4. Look on the screen from one source, like basically one cable.
The neat thing to see here is we expose the cable here. You see different type of cables, right? In our industry, we all used to
Different cables.
Exactly, we used to category cables, but if you get closer here, you'll see that this is really just one single pair. There is no more than one pair.
What you told me offline, that's basically what's inside your smartphone. It's just a pair running there, which is how they can make it so flexible. And
so what we really did here, we took this chipset from our automotive business unit. Autonomous driving cars will have multiple cameras around it.
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen that when you see that view around your car when you're parked.
Right. This is the what they call a surround view, but that's not what's really driving the mass market in automotive camera business. It's more the ADAS, the way to help the car navigate by itself. So that needs more. Exactly. Self-driving cars. It needs many more cameras.
And high resolution. You can't compress that.
No latency, no compression at all. So that's perfect fit to get it from the automotive to the video conferencing world.
Yeah, so as an example, as an example over here, if you take a look at this screen here, basically if you think about this from a practical application standpoint, you have 2 sources, right, in a typical meeting room as an example, and you have 2 displays. You're creating almost like a USB matrix switch in this case.
In this case, this is based on the VS3000, which is basically allowing us to take more advantage of the very successful launch we did with the Stelo family. As you know, we launched that product a year and a half ago in the midst of the COVID, and already now we have more than 40 manufacturers, about 100 different products already launched in the market. What we do here, we take advantage of a feature called DHDI. It's a chip-to-chip interconnect, and with that we can create a more flexible configuration for a meeting room. 2 independent sources, 2 independent displays, and 2 independent cameras, and I can mix and match whatever source to whatever display and whatever camera.
Basically, that's like a virtual USB switcher.
It's like a virtual presentation switch.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Now, obviously, you've taken an approach that the UC market is a market you want to be a big player in,
yes.
And I'm assuming you're working with the various vendors there that are already supporters. Let's talk about sort of a state of the industry for you. You have almost 200 brands, and you have a bunch of different products. We're showing some of the products right now on the screen from the different brands that are supporting HDBaseT, and that just keeps growing.
Yes, it will continue to grow, and we are going to bring more products to the market. Within the second half of this year, we'll bring a USB 3 extension technology. So for those who want more bandwidth for their camera, the AI aspect is going to get more and more. This will be available in the second half of this year.
So I saw this little booklet that you have here that's an installer's guide to an uncompressed world. What is that? Tell me about that.
This is basically, if you come to see us at our booth 2M650, you will see the power wall of the different products from HDBaseT 3 embedded inside it. And this booklet shares about 80 different products that are already launched.
Available online as well? Yes. On your website?
Should be www.valens.com.
He did that better than me. But you also have the HDBaseT Alliance.
You're right. You also have the HDBaseT.org.
There you go, the HDBaseT Alliance. If you're here at the show, come by the HDBaseT booth. Otherwise, check them out online, and you can, of course, see the videos. We're going to go around and shoot individual videos. We're going to shoot a video specifically on that proof of concept, what he's calling the Direct 4K Camera Serial Interface, CSI, extension. It's like, that's exciting. I hadn't thought about that. It's smart thinking on your part. It's why they hired you. It's and it's literally out of the box. You literally have it out of the box. And in any case, if you want to see any of these videos we're going to shoot here now, all you got to do is go to raypubs.com/ISE. That's where all of our ISE coverage is, and type in HDBaseT in the search window. Thanks, Gabi. I really appreciate this. Thank you. Congratulations on everything you've done, and also a thanks from the industry, because I know it was a rough start in the beginning because everyone was kind of doing their own thing, but you stepped up and you took control of that, and HDBaseT is a platform, that an ecosystem really now that the entire industry relies on. So thank you.
Thank you all.